Okay, welcome LAC 1 class. This is Unit 3, and today our focus is going to be on the grammar test from the BK Language Handbook. I'm going to give you a lot of practice to work on for today. So first, I just quickly want to go over the calendar, where you can get your materials, your essential question 4. If you're watching the recording, you need to turn this in to get credit. If you're here in person, which we have, I would say, almost 20, you're going to get automatic credit. And then we are going to go over that Unit 3 on pronouns today. I'm sorry? Yes. You should be participating and helping out in the session, but yeah, you're going to get credit for that. Okay, so in the calendar for week 4 and week 5, you are going to go over our grammar lessons. You have 2 to work on. Okay, one is going to come from the BK Language Handbook, and the other one's going to come from the vocabulary classical groups. Okay, so you have to use both books. Today we're going to focus on that BK Language Handbook. I know I'm having a lot of questions about the grammar lessons, so please bear with me, and then I'll try to answer as many questions as I can at the end of the session. So where do you get the materials? I made it easier for you, so if you click on Unit 3, day 16, it gives you for Unit 1, where to get your materials, the BK English Language Handbook. It gives you the page numbers. And then vocabulary for classical roots, it gives you the page numbers for that as well. Okay, so make sure you follow that so you know exactly where you're getting your information from. Okay, any questions about the quizzes so far that you've taken online? Nope. Okay. So I'm going to move on and get to our essential question. What are the 3 cases of personal pronouns, and when do we use each? So this is a lot of information in one session, because next session we're going to go over the vocabulary classical roots book lesson. It's a lot. Okay, is it okay to move on? We're good. Okay, I'm going to move on. Okay, first of all, you need to know what a case is. Okay, so that's the form of a noun or a pronoun that indicates the use in a sentence. So we have 3 of them. The nominative case, the adjective case, and the possessive case. That's why I gave you guys this handout right here. It comes from your book, and you should find it on L327. Okay, but I know not everyone brought their book. So you have these 3 cases that we're going to look at, and this is what you're going to test it on. So this is very handy. Okay, so you have the nominative case, and that one you're going to use when you're using subject and predicate nominations. You don't have to write this information down. Okay, you already have your handout. And those of you who are listening live through Illuminate, you can get that off of the BK Language Handbook, L327. There we go. Okay, and then you have the adjective case, and that one you're going to use for direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of preposition. And our last one here is the possessive case, and you're going to use this to show ownership or possession. Okay. Our next one here. Okay, pronouns used as subject. Okay, so this is one way that they can be used. They perform the action of the verb. Okay, so you would look at the nominative case here for subject. So these are the singular and plural pronouns that you would use. Okay, I fell off the horse. She laughed out loud. Who pushed the gate open? So these are all subjects. Okay, so it's performing the action of the verb. And then here, you can also find the subject in the middle of the sentence. Now the president must prove that he is up to the job. He, the pronoun taking place of that noun. Many students think that I should run for office next year. And if you're referring to the subject, you're going to use this first case, the nominative case. Okay, so this is where we're going to get to our practice. So you guys should have the practice sheet. The predicate nominative practice. Okay. So this is a noun or pronoun that follows a linking verb and identifies or renames the subject. Okay, na means name. Okay, so it's renaming that subject. I am the student. I is referring to the student. You are a wonderful writer. You is the writer. We are accomplished singers. We, singers. Okay, so now, okay, those of you who are online or in person, you guys are going to do the practice 1 through 6. So for a predicate nominative, you're going to use, okay, where is it? You're going to use the nominative case, of course. And then although it doesn't sound correct, think of the way Dr. Seuss or Yoda speak, okay? It is correct if you're following that nominative case. So the key is for you to find that linking verb. Am, is, are, was, were, been, being, seem, appear. Okay, so right now I want you to practice 1 through 6. And those students who are working via Illuminate, you can write down your answers in the chat text box to share. So you're using nominative case. You're using that first box. Okay, so work on 1 through 6. You did it? You were easy? Okay. So refer to your handout here. You're using only the first box. So refer to your the first one right here. So my favorite partner is P. You're going to use first one here. Here's our bleach. Here's what she. So just remember, if they're referring to the predicate nominative, you're using only. Okay, so that's how you're going to know what your answers are. You guys got it? Okay. So for this predicate nominative, you need to use the pronoun. So if you see this one on the list, that's what you're going to use. Him or he. They only use he. Us or we. They use we. Not us. Okay, so you're matching it up. Okay. So just remember you're referring to only you guys got it? Okay, good. That's awesome. I have a helper. Okay, so let's take a look at our responses. So you guys can just help me out here. Okay, my favorite partner is he. That should be correct. Okay. Scared are we. Okay, I should hear more participation. Beautiful is it is who left the keys in the car? I. The two best dancers were Rita and The smartest girls in the class are who do their homework. Okay, great. Now, I just wanted to go over the linking verbs. You're going to go over this as well in your language handbook. Okay, so these are some of the linking verbs that you're going to see as you are using the predicate nominative. Let's see. Okay, then we have direct objects. And then these answer the question who or what after an action verb. So you're going to use the direct object case. Okay, where is it? Which is the objective case, okay? The objective case, so let's see. Okay, so I want you guys to try 1 through 3. Greg likes pancakes, but his sister hates. You're using the objective case, that second box. Okay, take a look at that. There's only 3 practice ones for this one. Yeah. Objective case for the direct object. Yeah. Hey, you guys are getting the second part. The direct object. Has to come for the objective case. Okay? You got your objective case? Work on the sheet. Okay, let's do number 1. Greg likes pancakes, but his sister hates them. Good. Anna dated for 5 years. My mom called us from the airplane because she missed. So this is direct objects. The answer who or whom or what. Okay, indirect objects now. And then you're going to use the objective case for that one, that second box as well. So how do you know when something's an indirect object? Okay, first of all, you have to have the direct object. You have verb, indirect object, then your direct object. This one answers the question to whom or for whom the action is being done. Okay. So it cannot be in a preposition though. Here's an example. The students gave their favorite teacher some chocolate. Okay. To whom or for whom? Okay. That action is being done. Okay. This would be incorrect. The students gave some chocolate to their favorite teacher because it has a preposition. Okay. We're not going to use it for indirect objects. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice with that. Okay, you have 1 through 4 on your practice sheet. And again, like the direct object, indirect objects, you're going to use only the objective case. So try to do 1 through 4 on your own without looking at this, and then go back and look and see, make sure you got it right. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me know if this part is getting a little confusing, because I know we're going through a lot of grammar. You're going to be tested on this for your unit exam, and it is worth a lot of points. It's worth 75 points. You're not going to have 25 questions. Each of them are worth 3 points. Okay, indirect object. Shelley loaned him. My children made me a card for St. Patty's Day. Aunt Laura loves her nieces. She always gives them a lot of attention. Being the great navigator that he is, Joe showed us the directions to his house. Okay, good. Make sure you guys check these off. You can use them as your notes. Okay, then we have our objective preposition. And for the objective preposition, you're also using that second case, okay? So it's going to follow preposition. Here are some prepositions, if you forgot what they are. To, for, with, or of, by, in, about. Think about the rabbit and the fence, okay? Around, below, under, above, those are prepositions, okay? Across, along, beneath. So you're going to use the same case, objective case. So I want you guys, did I include these now? Or not? Objective preposition? Yeah, I did include them. So I want you guys to try these without looking at your chart first. And then you can look at your chart and double check your answers. So let's do 1 through 5. And a lot of times, you're only going to have a couple of issues. If you read it out loud, it's going to make sense to you. But there are some areas where you might have issues with that you need that extra practice. And we're going to go over at the end of the session. So some of this can be pretty easy. It's just naming these types, these parts for our pronoun grammar. You're using the objective case, remember that. Thank you. Okay, good. I have okay, let's do number 1. Without us, you would not know what to do. Good. 2, Maggie sat down at the table right across from. To whom? Yes. To whom? If you have a preposition here, to, you're going to use whom. Okay. To whom? Yes. To whom am I speaking? Okay, that will be the proper way. And then our last one. No, Dad isn't going with me to the concert. Actually, that's not our last one. We have one more. Everyone turned in their homework except them. Good. Okay. Check your answers, please. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit tough. You are going to have 25 questions, and 1 through 5 are really depending on your study, that you understand what a subject is, okay, what a predicate nominative is, direct object, indirect object, object of preposition, okay? So your questions are going to look like this. You're going to be given a sentence, and then one of the pronouns is going to be underlined. Then you need to pick what type of pronoun that is, and that's going to be the tough part, okay? So work with your group. Try to figure out number 1 through 5 together, okay? I encourage having a discussion, helping each other out. Let's try number 1 first, okay, with your group. So the person in the red dress is she. Is it a subject, predicate nominative, direct object, or object of preposition? And you're going to see questions like this on the test. So, okay, let me see what other students. Subject. So those of you who are listening through Illuminate, S stands for subject, PN is for predicate nominative, DO, direct object, OOP is object of preposition. So you need to be familiar with these pronoun uses, and then you need to identify in this sentence what she is. Okay? So go back to your notes, go back to your practice sheets to see which ones match up. The ones that we've done already. So that's probably the first time we're so you're repeating the pronoun here. What is that called? Take a look at your next one. Now there's pronoun that's called now. And then this one remains the pronoun. Always intentional. So kind of repeat that. Right? The input on this right is the last object. Okay. So next one is question. Take a look at this first one again. And integration is 2. How do you guys can here? Great. Okay, let's do that first. Yeah. Okay, so before you think it's a dirty object? Okay, so the person in the subject is she. So what type of pronoun? And why was that? Okay, so you're I think so it's nominative. You're going to use that case to write. And like, oh wait, now you're looking at nominative, but you're looking at subject. So what is it? Subject or predicate nominative? Because look at every object, they all come after. Yeah, because remember we talked about logistics, whatever. Yeah, I like the way your wording's kind of going backwards. Yeah. How's it going over here? Okay, yeah, see, because your other yeah. Yeah, we're working on this one right now. Okay, so she. Look at she. There's 3 or 4. Is the nominative case. So now you have to figure out is it a subject or is it a predicate verb? It's going to be like a predicate. I think that's what it is. I was asking verb correct. Subject, you talked about on the incorrect object. Predicate object. Yeah, so look at your record going on here. Okay? Stated with number 1 being is the verb, and then the. Remember stated. Yeah. Look at that. All right, hold on. Us, 2. Us and me. Are they ready? No, because you're either us, but you look at that direct number 4 is us. And number 2 is me. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. Not done? One more? Okay, this is what you're going to see questions 1 through 5 on your test, so you need to think this way, okay? You're going to see sentences that are very similar to these, so use these notes. Okay, I'll give you guys another 30 seconds. No. Direct object is when you, let's go back to that review. Let me give you the example, okay? Okay, let's look at the question. It's when you answer the question, what or whom the verb is being, after the action of the verb. The other one is to whom or for whom is the action being done. So you're doing something for someone or something. That's the difference. Yeah. So direct is what or whom after the action of the verb. After whom. Yes. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. Okay. Let's. If you restructure the sentence, it can still make sense. Yeah. Where are my questions? Okay, so let's take a look at 1 through 5. We're going to move on. Okay, let's take a look. So the first one, we have the predicate nominative. And I like how in the back, some of you were working your way backwards, where you were looking at she. Okay, she, you know, is part of the nominative case. And the two forms that you use for nominative case is either a subject or a predicate nominative. So you know that direct object and OOP is out of the question. So it has to be the first or second. Okay? So it is a predicate nominative because you are renaming the subject here, or the pronoun. Okay? Okay, next one. Subject, predicate nominative, direct object, and then object is preposition. So this one is the subject. Okay? The subject usually comes at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. Okay? The subject that is performing the action of the verb. Okay? Who built it here? Number 3, object of preposition. We already had an example like that one. We have the preposition before. It says object of preposition. Okay, there's a preposition before the whom. To whom. So that's going to give you a big hint right there. Remember? Under, over, to, for. Okay, there's that preposition. That's a big hint right there. Okay? Number 4. This one is going to be the indirect object. My grandfather told us many stories about his childhood. And the thing with direct and indirect objects is that you're going to use the objective case. So both of them are going to be objective case. You just need to really figure out what question is it asking, okay? Is it more of the what or who, or to whom or to what is the action being done? Okay, so that's the difference between both. So, my mother surprised me with a new computer. Okay, this is a direct action. Okay, so a direct object. And then here, To whom is it being done? He is telling a story. Okay. So you would say it's an indirect object here. So keep these sentences in mind as you are working through questions 1 through 5 on your test. You're going to have a lot of practice this week and next week. Okay. Okay, questions 6 through 8, and you might want to write this down because as you're taking the test, you can refer to this. Okay, you're going to go through elliptical phrases. Okay, you're going to start with than or as. Need to think of it as the beginning of a complete thought. So you have to complete the thought on your own for it to make sense. Okay? I run faster than he does. You can also say, I run faster than he. Okay? So these two are correct. You just need to complete the first one. Okay. She bakes better than, remember to add the whole thought. She bakes better than we bake. Okay, so it's going to be we if I finish it. If you're having issues with between we or us, just finish it, complete the thought, and then you'll figure it out. She bakes better than we, or she bakes better than us. Let me just finish it. I'm sorry?
It says she bakes better than we or us.
Mm-hmm. And then that's the end of it, right?
Right.
But now in your head, if you want to figure out between both of them, the trick is to finish it off and add to it. Okay? So she bakes better than we. Okay, what are they doing? Baking. Then we bake. Or is it she bakes better than us bake? It has to be we. Makes more sense. Okay, so I want you to try 1 through 4 and try that trick in your head. Okay, I know it's going to end the sentence, but you add to it so it can make sense. Okay? Number 1, who can drive faster than I can drive or me can drive? So which one makes more sense? Think of it that way. Finish it off on your own. So it's kind of like circling around what you already said, just kind of repeating it again to see if it makes sense. So, again, okay, let's work on these together then. 1, who can drive faster than, how am I going to finish it? We're doing the elliptical, going back. What are we referring to? What's the verb here? Drive. Okay, so who can drive faster than I can drive? That would make sense. So it would be I. It's not who can drive faster than me can drive. Okay? So that's elliptical. You're trying to think around it. Go back to your original subject and verb. Okay, no one spends more time in the shower than she spends in the shower. No one spends more time in the shower than her spends. No, that wouldn't make sense. So it's she. Okay? So just keep adding to it. I know it can be a little bit hard. Standing 6'3", Logan was taller than he was. Okay? Then him was? No. He.
So So the verb in number 3 is standing.
Taller.
Taller.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because standing 6'3" is just kind of information about the person. So Logan was taller than he was taller. Mm-hmm. Or than he was. Number 4, the movie we saw more appealing to, hold on. The movie we saw was more appealing to you than to,
they.
mm-hmm. Good. The movie we saw was more appealing to you than to they. Okay, so let's finish it though. How are you finishing number 4? The movie we saw was more appealing to you than to they who saw it. Yes, that's how you would finish it. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be them who saw it. Okay? You're going to have more practice with ellipticals. Okay? Okay, this one is 11 to 15. I think you guys are going to do great in this part. Contractions versus pronouns. So we have your contraction means you are, it is. Okay? So you're going to replace it and spell it out. The first one, you're the nicest person. Is it the first or second? Yes. Just spell it out. Okay? That second one is you are. Does it make sense? You guys will do fine. Time for
Yours.
first or second? First. Yes. Your piano lesson. Good. Yes. So I want you guys to practice 1 through 4 on your own. We'll do this one quickly. So just make sure for this part you're going to spell it out. Okay. This one is referring to possessive here. Okay. Possessive pronoun. And then you have the contraction, it is. Okay, let's work on these ones. Ugh. Okay, number 1, a wild animal is even more likely to attack humans who come near. First, it's young, good, without apostrophe. Number 2, first or second, about time you showed up. It is. Thank you. It is about time you showed up. Okay, number 3. First or second, the poem that Riley wrote doesn't fit it or it is title. The first one. Think of it that way. Okay? And the last one, Nancy told me that it is or it is. It is with apostrophe. Contraction. All her fault that we lost the game. You guys will do fine here. It's a piece of cake. Okay. There. I know. Okay. You guys need to remember this. There. Always an adverb. Okay. And then spell this one out. They are. Okay. When you have that apostrophe, a contraction, just spell it out in your head when you're reading it to see if it makes sense. And they're belonging to them. Okay. Possessive pronoun. Okay, do work on 1 through 3. Okay. Number 1, is it the first or the second? I hope the students do well on second. Yes, their grammar test. It's possessive. Number 2, they should, they should because their teachers reviewed the content with them. And last one, Thin Mints are so good. They are my favorite by far. Good. You guys will do fine here as well. Just keep those in mind. And let's see. Okay, 16 to 20. No, you're not gonna have that. You can take notes on these. So you have indefinite pronouns. Okay, you're gonna always, if you have an indefinite pronoun, it's going to always be singular. That's one thing to remember. And here is the list. Each, either, neither. Okay, anything, anyone, anybody. Okay, everyone, nobody, everybody. Okay, so you're going to use singular here, singular form. Anybody can wash. We're not going to say their. We're going to say his own car. It could be his or hers. Yeah. Everybody loves Raymond. Okay. No one drives, okay, with 2 hands anymore. Everything goes with black pants. Anything that is good for you tastes bad. Hopefully everyone is ready for the test now. So if you see any of these, you're going to use singular form. Okay? Just make sure you have your list in mind. Let's see. Okay, these are always plural. Both, few, many, and several. So just make sure you write those down. Many of my neighbors wash their own cars. So you can there. Several people love Raymond. We're not going to say several people love Raymond. Okay? And it makes sense when you're actually reading this out loud. Few of my friends have met my son, and both of my parents are ready to retire soon. Okay? Okay, we're going to last part, 21 to 25. You're going to be asked to pick either if it's unclear, confusing, or missing information. Okay? So unclear is the pronoun and what it's referring to doesn't match. Confusing, the pronoun refers to 2 different nouns, so you don't know which one it is. And when it's missing, there's no antecedent. When you're not able to find what the pronoun is referring to. So there's some information missing. So this is 21 through 25. On the paper? On your questions. On your test. Oh, the questions on your test. 21 to 25 is going to say, read the sentence. Is it unclear? Is it confusing? Or is it missing? And you're going to choose from these 3 options. Okay? So, okay, here is an example of an unclear one. I like walking the dog because you get a lot of exercise. Who's getting the exercise? I or you? So it's not matching. Confusing. Candace asked Amy to park her car in the driveway. Whose car? Candace's or Amy's? And her could refer to either one. So that one's confusing. You have more than 2. Okay? 2 different nouns. And missing. It has hundreds of songs to choose from. Okay, what is it referring to? Okay, that's missing information. So those are your choices for those questions. Okay. What's next then? Any questions that you have? Give me just a second. Okay. I'm going to end the recording now. Make sure you turn in your essential question response.